Hello, and welcome back to Game Domain. Any longtime viewers of the channel are well aware of the Game Domain's inherent love for all things Super Mario. When it comes to platformers, Paper Mario games, Mario sports games, or mainline 3D Super Mario titles, we can't get enough of playing any and all Mario titles that Nintendo throws our way. Over the past bunch of years, and really since the release of Super Mario Odyssey back in 2017, we have speculated on countless occasions what the next potential Super Mario title can be. These videos are always met with a ton of engagement from you all, as everybody is flooding to the comments to make their argument for where Nintendo should go next in the Super Mario realm. Since we have touched on potential speculations of perhaps every possible Super Mario title by now, we figured we should put them all in one place and rank the order we would be most interested in when it eventually came out. Today, we are going to be covering 6 major potential Super Mario titles that we could see in the very near future. These titles, in no order, are Mario Super Sluggers 2, Super Mario Maker 3, Super Mario Odyssey 2, a brand new Super Mario title for the Switch 2, Super Mario Galaxy, and Super Mario Sunshine 2. Now let's get into the ranking and discuss what each of these potential titles can bring to the table. Super Mario Maker 3. Kicking off the ranking at number 6 is Super Mario Maker 3. Now some of you may be disappointed in where we are putting this one, but hear out our reasoning first. Super Mario Maker 3 has been rumored for a few years now, as the second version was released earlier on in the Switch's lifespan and followed up the original, which wasn't released too long before. Now, our main issue with the idea of Nintendo bringing this title to the forefront before others we will talk about on this list is that there is surely not enough unique features that could be added to this title to make it worthwhile. Surely if the title debuted on the upcoming next Nintendo title, it would be met with increased graphic capability and maybe even the capability to develop 3D Super Mario levels or worlds. But we also don't think the next title in the Super Mario Maker franchise is all that realistic right now. There are tons of other ideas that Nintendo can flesh out and bring to the mainstream in a new Super Mario title, and as of right now, Mario Maker would not fit well into that mix. Diehards still get a load of enjoyment out of the latest title release on the Nintendo Switch, and a follow-up to round out the trilogy is something that should be in the works when nostalgia kicks in years from now. Super Mario Sunshine 2. Now, while our next sequel title is not as highly revered by critics as some of the other games in the series, the Nintendo GameCube's Super Mario Sunshine serves as a major nostalgia base for a large population of the Nintendo community. Similar to how the original nostalgic fans of Pokemon's Generation 3 and Generation 4 are now at the forefront of the older gaming community to sing those generations' praises over the originals, the Super Mario Sunshine gang has been very vocal in the Nintendo sphere for quite a few years now. We at Game Domain were delighted when this title was given love by its inclusion in the 2020 release of Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Younger generations of Nintendo and Super Mario fans were not only able to just experience the greatness of the original 3D Super Mario experience with Super Mario 64, but also the major improvements and enhancements made to the world for the GameCube's title. The potential of a Super Mario Sunshine 2 is very stark, as even the plot of the original leaves potential for a sequel. Bowser Jr. is upset by his defeat and already wants to fight Mario again when he is older and more powerful. In the world of Mario, there is always room for the princess to be taken and Mario having to go and save her. This sets up for an easy plot for a potential Super Mario Sunshine 2 taking place in the same beautiful Isle Delfino. With the wonderful graphics we've seen on Nintendo Switch titles, Isle Delfino is surely a world that can be beautifully enhanced on the Nintendo Switch's engine. By the time this game even comes out, it would likely be on the more powerful Switch 2 coming out within the next year or two. One of the last videos we did in 2024, we talk about the upcoming Switch 2. Check it out. This would present a beautifully touched up and enhanced Isle Delfino, an open world experience that would rival and beat out anything the Super Mario franchise has seen up to this point. New areas of the island could also be created, enhancing the experience and making it truly feel more like a sequel than a rehash. More water features could be added as well, with perhaps the potential to traverse and travel to other islands like you travel from world to world in the Galaxy titles and Super Mario Odyssey. A tropical wonderland is a beautiful haven for any Super Mario title to take place, And a sequel to the original Sunshine title is something that Super Mario fans, old and young alike, will all be able to appreciate together. Mario Super Sluggers 2. Now, while this next title is not a traditional Super Mario 3D game, it is a title that has been rumored for over a decade now, and we are still itching for answers. Back in the GameCube and Wii eras, Nintendo released a pair of Super Mario baseball titles that took the Mario sports world by storm. Many fans, including us at Game Domain, have strong nostalgia towards these titles and fondly remember grinding through the story modes while also beating our friends after we got home from school. Now, we may be biased in wanting this title, but it is not as improbable as it may initially seem. Nintendo has been going back and making newer versions of older Nintendo Sports and even Mario Sports titles. There is definitely an audience for this potential title, an audience who has been itching for a follow-up to 2008's Mario Super Sluggers, which would be dubbed Mario Super Sluggers 2. What we loved so much about the Super Sluggers was the single-player campaign component of it, allowing you to traverse the entire island and gain new members on your team by completing story missions and winning baseball games. This made the game grind-worthy, as obtaining all the players through both main missions and secret side quests allows you to front the best team possible to go off and face Bowser, the inevitable final boss of the game. Every stadium has both day and night features, with some areas of the island only being traversable at a specific time of day. An updated and enhanced version of this classic, with all new characters and stadiums and quests, would be something masterful. Super Mario sports games always get die-hard and casual fans alike to the stores to buy these new titles, ready to throw themselves into whatever sports world they may or may not even enjoy in real life. Nintendo has a major opportunity here with both feeding into the nostalgia of older players and also giving a fun new atmosphere to younger players who may enjoy baseball themselves or will just play any Mario title that comes out. The new Super Mario Switch 2 title. Now, this next entry might not be as nostalgic or flavorful as the rest of them, because it is the idea of an entirely brand new Super Mario title debuting on the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, this is the most obvious likely option of any of these speculated titles on this list. While it personally may not make us the happiest here at Game Domain, Nintendo will likely not see a crazy need to rehash any previous Super Mario title into a sequel when they have an entire new console and engine at their disposal to develop a brand new title. They will likely not want the baggage of having to live up to the hype and expectations of a sequel title to tickle players' nostalgia bone, but rather start fresh and clean with entirely new ideas. The funny part about a speculation type video like this is that Nintendo already knows exactly what the next Super Mario 3D title is and have likely been working on it for years. This title will be bound to be released for the Nintendo Switch, and major plot elements, story features, and locations are already far into development and design. We truly have no specific idea where Nintendo will take this title, as Odyssey was a brand new adventure that we all welcomed and adored with open arms. We will trust Nintendo with any ideas they develop for this potential Switch 2 title, as it is bound to be the most graphically intense and biggest Super Mario game to date. The new Switch 2 engine and capabilities will allow for an even more beautiful and open world title, and we are very anxious to see what Nintendo has in store for us. Super Mario Odyssey 2. When the Nintendo Switch came out in 2017, we had to wait a few short months to get the next Super Mario title in the fall. Odyssey was the first truly proper open-world 3D Super Mario game since the Galaxy titles, with 2013's 3D World on the Wii U not living up to the same standards as these other titles. What we were given was a masterpiece. Not only was Odyssey beloved by critics and reviewers, but it was immediately revered by the fan base as well. Diehards and casuals, older fans and younger fans, everybody adored this title and still does to this day. We here at Game Domain have personally beaten this title numerous times and have an immense amount of fun every time going through it. Not only is there the main story to complete, but loads of side quests that present perfectionists with a multitude of challenges to call this game complete. The world that it presented, traveling across different planets and areas to complete the story mission, is one that can certainly be expanded upon in a sequel title. Many fans have hoped for a Galaxy and Galaxy 2 type deal with Super Mario Odyssey, being such a beloved title that fans are itching to get more of. We still see this as being a possibility, although a much slimmer chance this late in the Switch's life cycle, as we discussed in the previous entry that we think Nintendo will want to start fresh with developing a brand new Super Mario title on the Switch too. But we always have a glimmer of a hope, and this hope has been going on for quite some time. The wonderful features and adventures of Mario and Cappy had fans itching for more when the credits rolled, and the wondrous nature of exploring the universe on the Odyssey leaves the open possibility of expanding this title into a sequel. There can always be more worlds to be created and explored, with hidden Easter eggs blending in with the mainline story plot. Super Mario Odyssey 2 is a vision that is ever so fading, but something that we here at Game Domain still hope to see one day in the future. So Nintendo, if you are listening, make this dream come true. Now onto the top spot in our ranking. Super Mario Galaxy 3. The Super Mario Galaxy titles are the most critically acclaimed in the entire series, apart from the revolutionary nature of Super Mario 64 and how it changed the Nintendo 3D gaming landscape. The original Galaxy title was met with such love that Nintendo did something it really does with mainline titles, a direct sequel. We have seen some instances of this in the Legend of Zelda series now, but only when these titles are met with such love that fans are dying for a continuation of a story rather than a brand new one. The Galaxy titles are just that, and we are now nearly 15 years removed from the release of Galaxy 2 on the Wii. The capabilities of the current Nintendo Switch, and certainly the next version of the console, vastly outperform the likes of the Nintendo Wii, and we can only imagine how beautiful a final title encompassing this trilogy could look on the Nintendo Switch. Fans would love to see the return of Rosalina and Luma living on their story in a brand new title for the Nintendo Switch. The open world exploration capabilities of the Galaxy titles were revolutionary for a console such as the Wii, and the Switch can make that medium look like something truly of the distant past. A Switch follow-up could add a load of new planets to the existing world with more detail and exploration features in all the worlds you might traverse to. Increased graphical capabilities on the better engine would just make the entire look and feel of the game so much more powerful, making the player truly feel immersed in such an experience. There are plenty of paths Nintendo can go down with the Super Mario franchise, but we think making a third version in the Galaxy series will tie together both a storyline in the form of a trilogy and show us the wonders that this world can be on a fully modern and updated console such as the Switch 2. Nintendo truly can't go wrong with whatever potential game they choose to develop, but Galaxy 3 would just be our first choice. What did you think of today's rankings? All of these potential titles are ones that we would love to see, so we wanted to put them all together and discuss which ones we see as the best options for Nintendo to develop and release. Of the 6 potential titles we talked about, how would you rank them? Which one is your favorite of the original games? Which game would you be most excited to buy? Do you have any ideas of your own for where Nintendo should take the Super Mario franchise next in a brand new title on the Nintendo Switch 2? Let us know in the comments what you think about these questions. And always, thanks for tuning in to Game Domain. Be sure to check out all of our latest videos, and also check out our links in the description to join our growing Discord and become included in our community. Thanks once again for tuning in to Game Domain. We'll see you soon.